It is now 5 o'clock. We will begin the workshop for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, May the 29th, 2014. We will begin tonight with the Citizens Forum. We do have one, Ms. Amanda Moss from 1104 Maxey Court. Would you come to the podium, please? Thank y'all for coming. We have visitors in the audience. Nice to see that. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. I would like to thank the board, mayor, and aldermen for allowing me to meet today, and I greatly appreciate your time. I'm here to discuss a chicken ordinance proposal. I strongly believe in the benefit of allowing backyard chickens to be raised in the city of Laverne and would like for the board to pass a proposal to allow this. I believe this would be good for our community's overall health and education. Currently, Rutherford County and Murfreesboro allow for backyard chickens with the regulations of noise ordinance, frequent, loud, or continued noise, quantity as a total number may not exceed 8, animals must be maintained on the owner's property, and waste must be maintained so as not to create a nuisance, visual, or olfactory. My proposal coincides with these regulations, but I have made some additions that would take this a step further. First, a hens-only policy which would not allow roosters. This would effectively do away with any noise ordinance concerns. I would also suggest that chickens must be kept in coops or runs, which must be kept clean, which would in turn offset any waste management issues. In addition to requiring that the hens be maintained in coops or runs, I would also recommend that these must be kept inside and backyards only, allowing no chickens in front yards. I would also adjust the considerations for the maximum number of hens according to the homeowner's acreage. I would propose a maximum of 2 hens for 0.01 to 0.11 acres, 4 hens for 0.12 to 0.23 acres, and 6 hens for 0.24 or more acres. Lastly, I would recommend a $20 permit fee so that the money can be directly fed back into the city. I'm also aware that there are some worries regarding the chickens, and I would like to take the time to put any of those potential concerns at ease. Chickens are noisy. Hens themselves are not noisy. Roosters are. My proposal would forbid roosters so as to prevent any noise pollution. Hens do not require roosters to lay eggs. A microflock of hens is an excellent and quiet source of nutritious eggs. Hens sleep in their coops all night long, and the only sound that you may hear from them is a brief clucking about a minute after they lay an egg, which is typically in the midday. The brief clucking is no louder than a human conversation and far quieter than a dog barking. Chickens are smelly. Hens that are kept in properly maintained microflocks have no perceptible odor. Cleaning up after a hen is easier than cleaning up after a dog, and the manure is safer to compost as well. The smells associated with large-scale concentrated animal operations do not occur in well-maintained microflocks because there are so few animals. Their manure is less concentrated and is actually a benefit to the land, since it fertilizes the soil organically and reduces the use of chemical fertilizers that pollute the storm water systems and groundwater. Chickens belong on a farm. Actually, hens are uniquely suited for city life. A small coop can neatly house a few chickens, which will in turn eat the family's food scraps and weeds, diverting waste from a landfill and providing rich compost to fertilize the soil on site. Hens can be an important part of a garden plan since they till and fertilize the soils and eat garden bug pests, including those that cause illness in humans like mosquitoes and ticks. They are no more difficult to care for, noisy, or dirty than a dog or cat, plus they provide breakfast. On a final note, I can assure you that the hen owners will maintain the utmost gratitude and respect if this ordinance is granted and will happily abide by all regulations. Again, I thank you for your time and strongly urge you to consider allowing backyard chickens in our wonderful city.
You've done good homework. Good work.
I tried. Thank you.
Very good work. But Randolph, if you'd like to speak with her on some of these, that would be great. He is our director of our codes.
Okay.
And we do very much appreciate you coming up here and speaking with us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We need to hire her for public speaking too, Miss Kathy. Help you out. Good job. Good job. All right, let's move right along. Alderman Green, you will have the pledge, and you'll have the prayer, and the pledge will be done by Alderman Waldron this time. Now, we have several minutes to read over, so please read over those and be prepared to vote on those. You have a public hearing, a regular meeting, and then you have a special meeting to review. We'll move right on to old business for tonight. Second reading, ordinance 2014-08, an ordinance of the City of Laverne, Tennessee, adopting the annual budget and tax rate for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2014 through June 30th, 2015. This is the second reading, so do we have any comments? Bruce, did you
We
want
will have a public hearing at 6:30
Okay.
Tuesday night on this budget ordinance. It has been advertised as required, so be prepared for that Tuesday night at 6:30.
Excellent. Any more conversation? Number 5 will be the second reading, ordinance 2014-09, an ordinance to amend Title 7 of the Laverne Municipal Code by adding a new chapter 7 regarding the creation of the Laverne Fire Department Volunteer Division. This is the second reading. We don't have to have a public hearing on this one.
No.
Okay. Do we have any more comments or concerns regarding the volunteer division? Okay. Next, we'll move into our consent agenda items. Approve recommendations for city bids and purchases. Number 1 is replacement cameras for Channel 3.
The replacement cameras are actually for this room right here.
Okay.
These cameras are in need of replacing, and we did a bid, and we've got one reply, and it is within budget, so we'd like to see that project go ahead and be able to get done before the end of the actual fiscal year.
And we do rely on this a great deal now that we
Yes.
publicize all of our meetings, and I do know a lot of the citizens really enjoy seeing those being shown live on TV. So, any questions, comments? Moving right along.
Okay,
Asphalt paving and materials.
You'll see I did a spreadsheet, and Garland and I had some discussion about the milling and about, the best company to go with, and looks like Hoover would be the best company to go with for the next year.
Okay. Y'all stop if you have any
Anything
questions.
with that, because then we also have street striping that would go along with that, and this is for the 4-inch plastic paint marking lines. This is per linear feet, and of course you can see Kerr Brothers at $1,500 versus Hawkins Price at $5,280. Recommend Kerr Brothers on that one.
Okay, Kerr Brothers, okay.
Anything on that? Any questions? Then we have the erosion control matting for the stormwater department. We're going to go ahead and give John Deere Landscapes a try. It's a lengthy, so I just had that attached so you could see the different prices. They will give this company a try and see if it's the quality they want. I told them they could always rebid it next year if it wasn't what they were in need of. Any questions on that? Okay, last but not least, we have the sewer jetter with the trailer.
Excuse me.
We had 2 bids returned on this, and just in flipping, I could tell that one didn't meet the specs, so I actually sat down with Michael and we went over it, and we would like to go with Samson Equipment at $61,298 because they did not have the exceptions, and the biggest thing was the size of the jetter itself, the horsepower. The one from CMI was 65, I think, and the other one was 95, so there's a big difference in the pressure. And the lighting, there was no lighting going to be on the one from CMI, and that we can't say we're not going to have to be out at night either and not need lighting on it, so.
Excellent,
Any
excellent.
questions on that?
Question?
Okay, thank you.
You're done?
I'm done.
Okay. Next will be a sole source purchase, rescue hydraulic and pneumatic lift tools. Did I say that? Pneumatic. Okay. I like the P in front of it. Who's got that one for us? Mr. Chief Clark?
It's finally his turn, Mayor.
First, I'd like to speak about the Hermatro pneumatic high pressure. This company is a sole provider for the state of Tennessee for that product. That's the reason for the sole source letter. The second one was the stabilization kit. There's 3 quotes there for that product.
Okay, and that's, nope, I already put the jack, I think. Okay, now that's the airbags. Am I on the right one? The lifting bag?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the,
The hydraulic and the pneumatic
yes.
tools.
Mhm.
That includes hydraulic tools as far as your jaws of life, cutters, things like that, that will cut or lift or separate heavy objects. The lift bags are made for lifting large objects. Both of them come from the same vendor, which is the sole source. It's only able to sell in the state of Tennessee. The stabilization kit is totally different. It's to stabilize vehicles that may be on its side, or it could do a wall or things like that. Not only does it stabilize and hold in place, but it does also do lifting with a hand crank.
Okey-doke. Any questions? Questions on
I guess we gotta pick a rescue jack, don't we? Or there's 3 of them?
it? That's what I was going to say, MES. And then the actual one is the rescue jack, right? And then,
One out of Texas.
I'd say rescue jack.
yeah. Oh, the advanced rescue systems. It's 8, 9. Go back. So they're relatively close. So rescue jack, is that the one y'all are wanting to go with?
Which one's gonna work best for y'all?
Yes.
The 3 quotes for the rescue jacks is actually a vendor here in here in Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
The rescue jack company has sent in a bid which is higher than the actual vendor that's here in Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
And the gentleman that bid it from Texas is actually even higher than that. I will tell you that I've spoke with MES, and not only they will be shipping these jacks here, but there will be also a 2-day tour of training for our personnel on those particular items.
Okay, so you want to go with MES on that one?
Yes, please.
Okay. All righty, got that. Any questions? Thank you very much. All right, moving right along. Approve use agreement with the Laverne Football League. I guess, Mr. AC, is that you?
Well, I mean, the differences are some of the stipulations we put in about the field and the repairs to the field, and, there will be no practices on the fields, and, a lot of this will come down to, I've already sent all those conditions to them, and they seem to be fine with it, so, we can move forward with it. That's why we drew them in there, so.
Okay, and Evan, y'all work together, excellent, so we've already crossed all those bridges. That's easy. All right. Any questions, guys? Okey-doke. Next will be approved entertainment contract with the Springs for Old Timers Festival.
I
Which
can't
one has
believe
that
it's
one?
almost here.
I know. Who has that one? Okay,
That's one of the first entertainment, one of the main entertainers that we're gonna have that day.
okay,
We were trying to get Wade Hayes, but we have an issue with, he wants to be paid whether it rains or not, and that's $5,000. So that's kind of rolling the dice a little too big. The Springs are actually, I don't know if y'all can look them up on YouTube, they're really good. They're very modern, kind of like a Florida Georgia Line sound to them. They're really good, and then we'll just build around that. But and they're willing to work with us. So, I mean, they actually wanted to open for Wade Hayes, but it doesn't look like that's going to work out because the way things been going, it'll for sure rain, and we don't want to do that.
They can be the headliner
and their price
inside.
is reasonable, so,
Yeah, it's very good.
excellent. Any questions, guys? All right, y'all are quiet. Approved lease agreement with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for the Hurricane Creek Greenway project.
It's the lease agreement that we'll need to be able to put the greenway in, so there's probably Exhibit A is the best thing to look at as far as a picture to show you the exact area we're talking about, but I think Evan's reviewed over the language. It's pretty much standard, what you're gonna get from the Corps.
Yeah, it's a core contract and
Right.
you sign it or you done sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, getting them to respond, we're happy. Excellent. Y'all have any questions on that? Any questions? Excellent. Next, motion to appoint or remove board members. We have the Historical Preservation Advisory Committee. We have one term vacant. And it has been advertised, but we've still not received any applications to this date for this.
I did talk to a lady a few days ago who was going to try and get me an application, but
Okay.
I have not received it yet. So maybe we'll have that by Tuesday night. Don't know.
All righty. Next, we have the Stormwater Appeals and Advisory Board. We do have one term vacant for this board. So we'll continue to advertise that as well. So we've about got that one filled. We need one more in Stormwater. And next is the Construction Board of Adjustment and Appeals. Mr. John Morris has resigned from this board because he has moved. So we do have one position available on the Construction Board of Adjustment and Appeals. And these are 4-year. All right. If I see no questions, I'll move on. First reading, ordinance 2014-11, an ordinance to amend the 2013-2014 fiscal year general fund budget.
Mayor, as we approach year end, reviewing spending and expenses, and there's been some things that have popped up that I think we need to go ahead and do our due diligence and make our budget amendments at this time. The state is really coming down hard on waiting till year end to do budget amendments. I'm not going to say that we might not have another one, as we close out the year, but I'd like to go ahead and do these now because I know these will be warranted. The first one I'd like to discuss is going to be a little bit confusing. We've already done our budget amendment for the fire department, but after the auditors being here this week, we're going to go ahead and have to accrue the total expense for the fire department this year, even though we're not going to pay the other $2 million until next year. He said since we've entered into that obligation, it is an obligation of the city at this time, and we need to go ahead and accrue that and expense that in this current year. We won't pay a check for it until January, but we have to document it in the current fiscal year. That's why we need to go ahead and do the other $2 million.
Any questions on that? Next will be first reading ordinance 2014-12, an ordinance to amend the 2013-14 fiscal year State Street Aid Fund budget.
There's some expenses in the State Street Aid that we need to go ahead and adjust for. As far as the repair on the maintenance, repair and maintenance of the roads, we've had some guardrail repair and curbing that we've actually received insurance revenue for the guardrail repair, but since the insurance checks go into revenue account, you can't see the offset here. So and according to the regulations, we have to go ahead and adjust that expense up. And the other machinery and equipment, this was with this was originally a truck and a plow, and the truck was budgeted out of the fleet department. The truck came in, the purchase price of it was $5,000 less than what we budgeted, but the snowplow was $3,000 and something over. It's kind of a wash, but it's in different funds, so we have to go ahead and make an amendment for that one. And then last is our street lighting electrical. As you know, we've had additional light poles put in on Walden Road, and it looks like our electrical expense has gone up this year by approximately $50,000. I looked at the budget to make sure it was covered in next year, and it looks like most of it is covered. We may have to do a small budget amendment for next year.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
We've had a lot of, pole repairs and additional poles that have caused our electrical to go up. And that should cover that.
And y'all stop us at any time if you have questions. An ordinance, or first reading, ordinance 2014-13, an ordinance to amend the 2013-14 fiscal year senior citizens fund budget.
Again, it looks like, according to the current expenses as of today, it looks like we're going to run about $5,000 over in operating expense and about $2,000 over in food purchases.
And next, first reading ordinance 2014-14, an ordinance to amend the 2013-2014 fiscal year grants fund budget.
Mayor, this is in regards to a 2012 JAG grant. We did not put anything in the budget for the actual expense. During this year, we have received additional $3,000 on this grant during the fiscal year 13-14, and we've also spent that money. So this is just housekeeping cleanup.
Number 12. A resolution 2014-18, a resolution of the City of Laverne to appropriate funds to non-profit organizations.
Mayor, this is the resolution that we have to approve every year for the next fiscal year, all of the appropriations to nonprofits. You'll see the list there and all of the expenditures that are in next year's budget for the nonprofits.
Any questions? Okay. Next is resolution 2014-19, a resolution to approve a nonprofit donation to the Laverne Middle School using the nonprofit funds returned from the health department. If you'll remember, Ms. Dana Garrett came and spoke with us regarding, let me get the exact number. It was 1,036. That they're wanting to give back to the city with the understanding they want it to go to some kind of health program, and we offered and talked about giving it to the middle school of our middle for exercise, I think some exercise equipment for the health of the children. Anybody have any questions over that? All right, I'm going to move right along then. Motion to approve interlocal agreement with the town of Smyrna to provide wastewater treatment services for the proposed Oliver Constable development on Blair Road. This is you and Evan.
Right. If you'll remember last year, it may have been actually early this year, I can't remember exactly when it was, Laverne had approved an agreement with Smyrna for sewer services for this development that Mr. Constable is proposing to build off of Blair Road. Smyrna wasn't happy with all of the terms in that contract, so we've been going back and forth now for several months, and the attorney for Smyrna actually wrote up this agreement, and he didn't let us see it before he took it to their council. So now we have issues with some of the things in the contract. So we've been going back and forth, Evan and I, and Kyle was involved also. There's still a few minor issues that we're trying to get ironed out. We think that we should be able to have that ready for Tuesday night. So this is still a work in progress, but hopefully all of the terms will be agreeable before Tuesday night, and we'll be able to talk more about it then. One of the biggest hang-ups right now is actually two of the paragraphs talk about a master sewer meter, which we don't want to get into. We'd rather do the billing from a master water meter because it'd be more accurate. And sewer meters are notoriously faulty and have lots of issues. So I think that's probably our biggest issue at this point, but we still have to get ironed out, and I think we should be able to get that done for Tuesday.
Have y'all also conferred with Michael on anything in here that might be relevant to what
He had gone with us to a meeting
Okay.
in Smyrna, and so I'm not sure if he's seen this latest version or not, but we'll make sure he has by Tuesday.
he's one that has to deal with them initially, so.
Bruce, will I have to go back in front of Smyrna's council?
Yes, it
Yes.
will, yeah.
Because they were looking to move pretty quickly, right?
Right.
They were-
Yeah,
so-
but, you know, they also knew that this situation here was,
Right.
and then the other ones that actually sat on it for quite some time before they came back with it. So, I mean, we're doing our due diligence, and we have to be very cautious in doing this. And are you feeling pretty comfortable with this, Evan?
Yes, ma'am, it's in really good shape, and I agree with Bruce. I think with that minor tweak we're talking about, we should have everything ready by Tuesday, barring something strange happening.
And as far as the pipes and everything, Michael, are you comfortable with us doing this with?
I think that's what we need to do myself,
Okay.
because if not, we'll have to have them put a lift station in, and that's a lot of maintenance for many years. If they get the pricing right, we're gonna benefit from it.
Okay. So we've heard from legal and from actually the one that's out in the field, and so if y'all have any questions on any of these, you can certainly get with Bruce or Evan. If it's more on the actual inner workings, you've got Michael, so between now and Tuesday, if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to call and ask them. All right, guys, we're down to the mayor and alderman comments. We'll start with you, Alderman Green.
I don't have anything.
All right. Nothing for you? Alderman Roper?
I'm just trying to hold back a sneeze this whole meeting, so.
I know, and I get coughing, so. Well, y'all know I always am good for some things. We do have our playground bill for the Lake Forest Park. That will be Wednesday, June the 4th. We need 4 more people to volunteer. Thursday, June the 5th, we need 11 more helpers. Friday, June the 6th, we could certainly use 10 more helpers. So we're real excited about getting this going, and I know we've got a lot of kids anxious to have this playground in their neighborhood. So if anyone can throw in a few hours to help, we will be providing refreshments and lunch during the days. We've had several people that's donated food, and we've also had people that's going to donate time to help serve that food. So, and also tomorrow night, for all you ladies, Box 100 will be having their Southern Ladies Show and Auction. It will begin at 6 p.m. It's right back here at the multi-purpose building. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we've already got some guys wanting to sneak in, and we told them certainly they could come, but they're going to help. So we'll see how that goes. But please remember that. And I guess that's all I have. If you have any questions, you can go to Box 100's Facebook page, and it's, Laverne Box 100 is their Facebook page. If you have any questions. And I guess with that, I don't know of anything.
It's going to be a lot of fun because they explained it to us today at the senior center. It will be a lot of
I
fun.
think it's just I think there might be some surprise guests to show up. So you'll just have to come out and see who those surprise guests could be. Thank you to everyone for your time in this. And guys, I call this meeting adjourned.